All right, it took me an hour and 20 minutes to get up here, and I can tell you right now, there's a very long line of people, both at the front door and the back door, and I'm late. I would have loved to have been here earlier, but it's all the way up in Tennessee. Oh my goodness, folks. Out of respect for the people running this particular estate sale, I did not film inside. Also, it would have been difficult because, you know, when you're in there, you're trying to get stuff as quickly as possible so that you're the one that gets it and someone else doesn't. When I arrived, I'm not joking you, there were somewhere between 75 and 100 people in line just to get into the upstairs of this house. And then down below, the basement, the downstairs, there's probably 50 people. And I was only getting there like 5 minutes before it opened. Now, I got in within 5 minutes. However, it was you're elbow to elbow with people. You're shuffling about. In this place, folks, it was kind of like a hoarder's place. I mean, it was more tools than I had ever seen in a person's home. Ever. I mean, it was like more than some tool stores. It felt like just floor to ceiling. Every cabinet was completely full. Anyhow, the short story is I spent 2.5 hours in this place, making multiple trips. And I am so excited and pleased to show you the stuff that I found today. We have a variety of stuff. Probably going to have to call on, our lead detective on a couple of pieces that I'm not sure what they are, and hopefully we can get a hold of him. But let's get into this. Let's look at some of this stuff. I'll talk about why I bought what I did. I could have bought so much more. I could have spent more time, but I had another engagement I had to get to, and so this was it. But I was buying things that I have personally seen or researched or sold before, generally speaking, or things that I know about but hadn't found before, and that's why I bought them. So let's get into this. I'm very excited. This is the best tool haul of the year for me, and it happened here towards the end of the year. Now, I have sort of laid all of these out so that you can see the sort of the magnitude of the stuff that I have bought. You can see right here items sort of laid out. I kind of grouped them in ways in which I plan on selling them, either in lots or individually. So we got some smaller lots here. You can see as I'm going through here, you can see why I have items next to one another. They are categorized kind of based on the type of tool or maybe what they're used for. And so here you go. I've got these. You can see these are chisels, wood chisels. I've got a very large amount of these. These are every single thing you're seeing here in this video today are items that I bought yesterday at the estate sale. So of course, you know, I started that video yesterday when I was about to walk in, and the rest is what you're seeing here. This is stuff that I dug through. I found these items in this person's, it wasn't exactly a garage, but it was like a downstairs room. And you can see here's a tool box full of keys and locks. This is old kind of like flatware for camping stuff. You can see the things are just continuing here. Some hand tools, more hand tools, level. And then what you're looking at here, folks, we'll get to in a moment, is this large box. And then some other items that are not exactly tools. We've got some other items up here, as you can see. And I was so happy. The last couple of things, folks, are these here, and these are some items I do not exactly know what they are. And then this puppy right here. Not exactly sure what it is, but maybe you do. But we'll get into it shortly. First off, today we're going to look at this piece. This is cast iron, so it is or it's all metal. It's heavy. And as you can tell, it's a level. One of the things it has going for it is a Stanley brand, and it has the number. So it's very easy for me to look Stanley number 36. These are selling in the $40 to $50 range. It's an antique, or it's not antique, it's vintage. Very heavy level. I could use it today if I wanted to, and so that's why I got it. Down here, we've got a variety of hand tools. And these are what would be considered, I guess, like lineman's pliers. Channel Lock brand, number 349. Again, very easy to look up. Here's an interesting tool, and it's called the Robinson wire twister. So you've got this little handle part here, and this portion at the bottom unscrews, and what you do is you take a wire and you thread it through, and it twists it for you. And of course you can snip it off there at the end. Those are about $40 or $50 pliers. I'm not kidding. Look them up on eBay. Same as these. These are kind of like crimping. This is the Stay-Con lug. These are $30 to $40 pliers. Yes, these vintage tools. These are the types of things that you could maybe find at thrift stores or places that people would donate, and you can get them for 50 cents or $1, and you look up on eBay and you see that they're selling for $30. That's a really good flip right there. Here's some snips. P&C, is that it is? P&C, I don't know what that company is, but these are all made in the USA brands and things. Well, some of them might be Germany, actually, now that I say that, but yeah, I'm not familiar with that brand, but let's see here. Let me pull them up here and see if I can get this puppy to focus. Aero Shield Tokyo. So this is, Japanese, it looks like. But most of these are vintage American made. This is not a vintage pair. This is a newer pair, but it's a Craftsman brand. It's very nice. These are all like forged steel. Things. These things have lasted many decades. They will outlast me. They'll still be used by, children who are children now, will be adults someday, and maybe passed on. Some really cool old brands here. Some old snips, some more snips. Different. A Klaus. I've seen scissors by that brand. Klaus scissors. They made different tools. So this lot right here. This is worth more. I will get more money out of selling each of these individually when they sell than I paid, believe it or not, for all of these tools that I have shown you today. More than all of these tools. Now, I was thinking I'll wait till the end, but I'll tell you right now so you can just have this in your mind. For all of these tools, I paid $125. And I also paid $125 for this Machinist tool chest. So I went out there yesterday with $1,000, not knowing what I might find. Would I find jewelry? What am I going to find? I didn't even know what was at this place. And I walked away after having spent $250, and everything you see here was $250. Now, this Machinist thing, I think I can get $300 to $400 for it. I'll show that to you in a minute, but keep in mind, $125. These deals are out there, folks. Estate sales are awesome. You can find some really great deals at these places. Next up, we have a variety of just kind of like hand tools that, like this is like a little hand crank, driver, screwdriver type thing. This is a Stanley Yankee. You put a bit in here and you can crank that and twist it. These are longer handled, and this has got like a flathead screw bit in it. Long handled type screwdrivers, adjustable. Same thing here, no bit in this one, but it's got a wood handle, a little cracked, but it's still good, it's still solid, it can be used. Over here we have a couple of brands. Here's the Petersons, pretty well known. The DeWitt. These are clamping. They clamp down the vice grip type. Clamps here, hand wrench type things. And there's two of them here, two different brands. That's a Peterson brand. This is a different kind of shape. It's also made in the USA, but it's a Craftsman brand. Also very well known and respected and used brand. I got a handful of scissors here, some really nice. This is the Boker brand, which I believe is a German. Well, it says USA. I thought Boker was a German brand. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess I'm wrong on that. Maybe they were at one time. You can see this was done a lot by people of a generation or two before me, where they would etch into their tools their initials so that they didn't get lost or someone didn't steal them. We got some cool looking scissors. Here's a cool, look at these, are kind of rounded off, flattened, ended. One of these are the clean cut. Deluxe, and again, I got a reference number here. I got the length and a reference number, 113C. I can look that up. Here's some interesting scissors. I don't really know what these are for. These almost look like crimping type scissors. This is stainless in China, but it's got this little piece here that can poke, and I don't know what that's for. I don't really know. If you know, let me know what these are. I haven't done any research on them yet. But then you got, look at these two, very large pairs of scissors. Let me look at these in my hand. Look how long these are. And this does not show the brand name on that one. However, this one is the Wiss brand. Wiss. Inlaid Wiss. And you can see it's a USA made. And they're just gigantic, heavy scissors. I don't know if these are for like cutting fabrics. This is for cutting leather. What this is for, but they're really nice scissors. Scissors, I've sold lots of antique scissors. Certain brands and things can sell very, very well. All right, we've got some little torque wrench type things here, some ratchet wrenches and stuff where you put, you can put attachments on, and then you can put sockets and things, and you can screw or unscrew various bolts and various things. Lots of different brands here. This is a Vilcek. We've got some Craftsman's here. This is a Japanese-made one, another Craftsman. Some of these are newer. Some of these are older. Some of them are not branded Craftsman. But these things sell. Certain ones can sell, certain sizes can sell nice individually. And look at this one. It's kind of cool. It's Craftsman also, but it can also move. It's sort of adjustable both directions. So that's kind of a cool feature on that. Some more Craftsman. This is one called Bonnie, but it's a USA-made one, a little bit older. Again, we have the reference number. We can search it. We got that person's initials. Unfortunately, they have passed away. That's why these things were available for sale. S&K, you got a reference number there. We're getting larger at this point. Thorson and Channel Lock. So these are all nice brands. This is a different one too. It's got an interesting type of an adapter thing here. And again, this would have a reference number for me, a U.S. patent number, and the number of the particular part and what it's for. And you got, I think it says 1.5 inch there, so that'll work. And then these. I'm not exactly sure what these are. I haven't researched them yet. This is the Bernard, and again, I got a reference number, so it will be very easy to research these once I get them. I saw two of them, and I thought, you know what, I'll get them. I don't know that brand. They have a very specific purpose. So it looks like you've got some kind of you can grab almost like pliers, but also you've got a cutting. So my guess is this is for some type of wire. Maybe you would grab a wire and pull it, and then you could clip the wire potentially. I may be wrong on that, but we got a couple different sizes, and it looks like the same brand. So those, of course, I'll try to sell those together. And then these little handheld kind of ratchet, and these are for different sizes. Now I don't know. Well, so this says Sears, but these other two are a different brand. And yeah, there's a different brand, but they're the same type of item. So I'll sell these all together because they're roughly the same size. They may be a little bit different, and I'll have to look and see if they say the exact size of the that they will work on. But these are kind of adjustable things. Got a couple of these. This is the Power Change 383. That's a brand, so I'll look that up. It's got it's a bit, and you got this drill bit here, and a couple. There's another one, the Snap Lock Plus. And it's got a trademark. It's got the 910. Again, so this is nice because, and I love that they do this with tools because it makes it so easy for reference to find that item, especially for me who's just trying to evaluate their actual value, what I can sell it for. Move in on, folks. I think that the item type that I got the most of were chisels. Wood chisels and various brands. Here's a really brand new one, basically Buck Brothers, but it's a couple of other older Buck Brothers. Now, you got to watch these things. Even if they get a little rusty or a little old looking, that's fine, provided that the blade itself is not heavily chipped. You can see that this has got some chips. Now, I can do a little bit of sharpening on this, on just the end, and make it nice again. And then I can advertise that when I'm selling it, that it's got like a very newly sharpened, right? Yeah, it's old, but just you can reuse it. These are a bunch of blades that came without handles. They would have originally, my guess is they would have originally come with handles that were wooden. And I even had a few wooden handles I had to pitch because they, they'd broken off. But this is just like razor sharp. It's still a fantastic blade. I may need to look into if there's a way I can find how I can put new handles on these because they're amazing. I'd really like to look at this. Can we focus here, please? Goodness. Okay, here we are. The Peerless Tool Company, and it's made in Germany. So Peerless, that's a nice brand name, so I can look that up. Not too bad. So I'll have to figure, I could sell these as they are. Someone knows how to put handles on those and reuse them. Or I can figure out a way to do it myself. And then some other brands. This is the one pile that's like either I can't tell the brand, I need to clean it up some more to get the brands, or the brands are sort of like not well known. And so that can go in a lot as itself. But these are all Stanley brand. And you can see they all have kind of a uniform. We've either got the regular Stanley, the yellow and black, or we've got some that have these red handles, and the red and the white, or the red and the yellow. And these are... what are the, let's see, this one's got it on there. They call them the Handyman. It's just like a series or a model type. And then these are Craftsman over here. So we got Craftsman, we got Buck Brothers, we got Stanley, we got some others, some vintage ones. And then as I move forwards over here, we've got even more. These are all ones, I put these in a lot because these have handles that are a little bit loose. So I need to either find a way to tighten these up, or I'll sell them together and I'll just say like these are all ones that need to be tightened or they are loose. But you got some nice, this is nice curvature in some of these that are large. Here are all older ones, as noted by the wooden handles and just the general condition. They came from various places, though I imagine some are the same. Anyhow, you can see that there's even some old prices. Probably what the person that I bought these from had paid originally when he bought them. And then here is a nice little set. I threw this one in to it too because it's, even though it's not a Craftsman, as you can see, these are all Craftsman brands. Wood chisels, really cool, different shapes and stuff. And then this one's a wider one, but this is a Buck Brothers brand. But those can all go together, and I was really happy. I've done very well with wood chisels. Of course, I could go through and try to sell all these individually, but as it is, I think I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different lots of chisels. And we'll see how that goes. These are not chisels. These were a little bit out of the norm because they're a little bit different. But this is just from sort of like a little knife blade. This one also is some sort of kind of like a blade that's a different shape. I don't know what their purpose is for exactly. And this is something that has just been forged essentially out of a solid piece of steel. And you've got a handle section that's some sort of coating on here, and then the blade itself. And it's got some weight to it, so you could kind of... I don't know exactly what this is for, just some general cutting, but it's certainly sturdy and can be, because it's nice steel, it can be sharpened and maintain its integrity based on the heat that will be generated when it's being sharpened. Down here we have some of these steel tape measures. I've got a Lufkin brand. This can go out to 50 feet, and then I got a Craftsman one that can go out to 100 feet. Those are good. They're two different brands, but it's two different sizes, 50 and 100. That'd be nice for a lot. And then we've got a couple of things here. We've got, this is the Ampro 3/8 inch driver micrometer adjustable torque wrench, and you can see the picture right there. It's in here. It's almost never been used, and we've got one here that's sort of a similar idea, but it's got the handle here. It's quite heavy. It's all metal. It's the impact driver 2500, and it's got its own set of little 4 bits in here. Nice, comes in its own case. That's great. Over here we have a stack of sharpening stones, whet stones. Here's one that's by the Case brand. Case, you may know that brand for pocket knives and such. Here are some index drill bits by 2 different companies. We've got the Huot ones here. I don't know if that's the brand or not, but that's I've sold ones like that before that were bigger, and they sold pretty well. And this is they're complete. And then this one as well is nice. It's got several rows of these, and it's complete. So that'll be nice. I can put those together or maybe sell them individually. And then over here we've got 3. I think 1 or 2 of them are, this one says made in the U.S. This might be a Stanley brand. I can't tell. Maybe not. This one also says USA on it. I'm looking for a brand name. I'm not seeing it. And are we going to go 3 for, am I going to blank 3 for 3 here? What do we got? I don't know. I don't see it. Well, 3 mysteries. We'll look them up. We'll look them up, folks. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. Here are a couple of longer, old, wooden handle and steel flathead screwdrivers. Really nice. Some of these, sometimes they'll be called the perfect handle screwdrivers. I've sold those in the past. Here's an interesting hand tool. I'm not exactly sure what its purpose was, but you can unscrew this portion here, and you place something in here, and then you squeeze it together, and it punches something. I don't know if it punches a hole or if it presses something together, but that's kind of cool. I just thought it was interesting. Here's just a little hodgepodge lot of various things. A Craftsman brand. Looks like some sort of a measuring tool, measuring the width. This is some sort of a metal clamp. Another type of a clamp of some kind. And then also here, which is interesting, you can clamp something there, and then you can rotate it around, clamp something on this other side. These had special purposes at one time. I don't know what they were. And this is the one random tool that just kind of fell in with everything else, Buffalo brand. And so we'll sell that, no problem. And then this is cool. I looked on it. I didn't see a number, an actual part number, but this is a Craftsman brand. It's a vise, as you can see here, where you can screw in, you can put something in. But this is the cool part. You ready for this? So I can lift it, and it lifts up. It holds. It can be moved. I can screw that little bolt right here, and basically you can have it hold it at different angles. It doesn't have to just be up and down. It can be at any of these angles while you're working on it. You would probably take a bolt, and you would bolt this portion in the back and in the front here down onto the work table so that it doesn't move. And then you have this to move back and forth. Very cool, very handy. We might even keep this here at the warehouse and use it ourselves. All right, so what you're looking at here, folks, are what they call draw knives. And so you hold onto this handle. This is a sharpened blade, and you would use it to scrape from out towards yourself, And you can use these for wood, so for woodworking stuff. You can use them for some sort of leather work if you need to, or really just about whatever that you need a blade for that you would want a wide blade. And you can measure these. Sometimes they will say the actual lengths on them. So this particular one was from True Value, a hardware store back in the day. And it doesn't actually say the measurement, although I can just measure the blade myself. This one says Germany on it, so it was a German-made one. These are all, this one's older. These 2 here are newer. This is also a little bit newer, and it says made in West Germany. So this is probably from like the 1940s, 1950s. Maybe in the 60s. would be my guess. And these are a little bit harder to come by, these ones that are you know, hooped like this, or they have a divot, and just a different look. It's very cool. And then I love, this is my favorite one. Very smart design. So I've unfolded it, but basically you can unscrew these and fold this portion of the handle. As you can see, there's a divot in there. It covers the blade, so it protects the blade. If you, when you're not using it, you unscrew both of those, you fold them up and in, almost like you would fold in eyeglasses on the back there. But here's the coolest part. So it's old, very, very old. How old, Rusty? Well, the patent date here says July 16th of 1895. So we're talking late 1800s here on this. And so very exciting, very cool piece. Moving over, we got a variety of other scraping tools to go along with our hand planes over there that I showed you. This is a Stanley. It's a Stanley. It says number 82. Which is cool, so I can look that up. It's just a hand scraper. You hold the handle like this, and you can put your other hand up here, and it's got the blade there, and you scrape it, okay? This here almost looks like one that you would do the opposite. You'd go this way and scrape back towards yourself. Interesting steel contraption. It's just holding the blade there at the top, and then it's got a wooden handle, a long handle. It doesn't have a brand name on it. It's older. And then a variety of others. Here's one with a single blade, as you can see. It has some information on the blade itself. Here is another Stanley piece, a number 60, it looks like. Here's another Stanley piece. Stanley, you got the blade underneath. I'll look to see if there's a number somewhere on here. If I can't find it easily, we'll look later. And then the next couple, really cool. I'm excited about these. The number 12, again, it's got a handle, 2 handles on either side. It holds the blade in place. The blade is here. It's just a different type of hand plane other than one of the smaller ones, and then this one. The ones I've seen sold don't have this wooden platform on the bottom of them, so this was, you know, made by this person and put on here for use. It's awesome. It's got a tiny little blade there. This is the number 71, and again, you would put it there and you could scrape as you're doing woodworking projects. I'm just so excited. Again, folks, $125 for everything here. I'm going to do very, very well. I'm not kidding when I tell you that I think that there's over $1,000, if not more than that, in just the tools here. Because what I can do is I will sell likely maybe these 2 and or those 3 in a lot together. This one by itself because it brings good money. This one by itself because of its age. All right. And then I'll probably sell these 3 that are similar together in a lot. These together or separately, since this is a different brand and I don't really know what it is. And then each of those will be separate because they have pretty high values. And I already told you about the lots here of this. So let's take a break from the tools for a moment, and I'm going to show you and talk about the locks and then this junk up here. Folks, we have an item here that I am not aware of what it is. I've done a little bit of research. I can't find it, so I need to call in the professional now. So if we could get Peaches, could we get the lead detective on the line, please? We need to get him in here to help us out.
Rusty, lead detective, surfing the interwebs, cracking the case. 'Cause he's Rusty, lead detective, wearing disguises. What will you find? 'Cause he's Rusty, the lead detective. Don't you know that he's on the case?
I'm gonna attack that search engine like a wild beast. All right, folks, while he's on his way over to give us a quick information, this is the item in question here. As you can see, it is an elongated blade contraption. It has a wooden handle straight on this side. It has the number 2 imprinted, and you can see that these are blades on both sides being held together by being pressed together by these screws right here. Number 2 handle. I need to know what this puppy is. Okay, folks, here I am, rusty lead detective. Of course, I'm indoors today, so I'm sporting the indoor glasses. And here's the thing. I only have time for this one item because I'm sort of popular. I'm kind of a really big deal these days. And so people are contacting me all the time. Hey, we need a lead detective on this. We don't know what this is. I'm flying back and forth all the time. Anyhow, but of course, you know, for Rusty, I'm going to do my best to get over here and give him some information. And so, a quick photograph of this item and utilizing something called Google Lens. It brings us to this right here. It pulls up and it calls this thing a courier knife. It also goes by other names, such as a tannin knife, or my least favorite of these, the fleshing knife. Fleshing knife. Get out of here with that junk. The courier had a flat beam to work on and a courier's knife, shaving on the beam. And so you can see this is very similar in shape and style. The edge kept trimmed with a finger steel, so it's got a blade, as you can see. Oop, we're going to pop back here again. That was just the first thing that pops up is this little thing on Scotia Historian, like Nova Scotia, I guess. Courier shaving knife, 1940 from the National Gallery of Art. And at first when I saw this, I thought, oh my goodness, this is such a rare item that it's in National Gallery of Art. Well, it's actually not the actual item that's in the National Gallery of Art. It's this print that someone did of of a courier shaving knife. So this is a watercolor and graphite on color pencil. This is a piece of artwork, folks. But the focus, the theme of this is this knife. So what this item is it is a vintage. And the one that Rusty has here, I believe, is from the late 1800s, but it was used by someone who worked on leather. Leather working, they would scrape and tan the hide as they were working on this, so that they would lay it over. Here's one that's very, very similar in look, as you can see from this. Information is that, and this actually has a brand name on this particular one, but they basically scraped on the hide. So instead of those scraping tools, those draw knives where you would reach out and pull back, this one would be laid, the leather would be laid over that piece of wood. They would stand over it and they would push down and they would scrape it down in such a manner. And so that's what you have. You have what they call a courier knife. This is something that people who were leather workers, primarily in taxidermy and that kind of stuff, used. So you're welcome. This has been the lead detective on the case, solving it really fast for you. And I got to get on to my next thing. But anyhow, you guys take care and good luck. I didn't see it at first, but whenever I went back in after getting a couple of rounds of tools, I started looking more closely on the wall because there were so many things. And one of these locks caught my eye. And I saw one lock. This one is the, what is it called here? The Hoarder Marine. Hoarder Marine. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. And I looked at it, and then I was like, oh, you know what? There's another one there. Oh, and there's another one. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just grab any of these locks I can find because they look pretty old. This says Slaymaker on it. And it's got a cool kind of like chrome kind of colored look below, and just the traditional brass color there. This one is really interesting. I don't see a name, but it's just got like an eagle. And this little hook part up here might help me identify it because that's not on every type of lock. But these are all older. This is an old Yale. Same thing, this same type. And there may be, oh, look at that. I wonder if that's an indication of what the top of the key would look like. I've got, as you can see, plenty of keys in here, so it'll be kind of fun. You know, some of these have the key attached to them or in them. For example, this one has the key, yep, on this, and you can see that's exactly what that other lock was saying. This is a Reese. It says, you can see there's some rust and some condition issues here, but these are quite old. Locks can really bring some good money, especially if they have the key with them, WB. They don't have to have the key, but having them helps. The number 622, that's good. I can use that to look up. Another nice older Yale lock. Another one with that brass top, the Sergeant. And so what I can do, what's great is that, like, look at this. I've got 3 different brands, but they all have the same type of locking top. And I don't know if the mechanism's the same or what, but they might be. I have to guess that there's a name for this, or this is a type of lock, or perhaps they were just made at a certain time period. If you know about these things, please feel free to share in the comments so other people can know. Here's another 2 locks, as a matter of fact. You've got this lock that has the keys. And this is interesting because look at that type of lock. It's got a double. It's like on both sides. And then also on this keychain, a tiny little lock and a tiny little key. And then, folks, goodness, I mean, look at all of these keys. Now we got some old little ones, as you can see, very, very, distinct and unique. And then if we get down in here, we've got some skeleton. I mean, even look at this. Some old, man, look at that. That's an awesome one. This old skeleton key here. This is like and they're not all skeleton keys, but some of them are. And then down in here, it's like lock keys. We've got, I feel like, automotive keys in here. We've got people's keychains with like all the keys to maybe their house and everything that they had keys for. And just everything you can think of. I mean, this man, look at this. Oh my goodness. Richard Nixon. Because why not carry around a keychain with Richard Nixon's mug on it while you're driving around? Another really cool old key right there. My goodness. Keys, folks. Keys sell also. So I'm going to do some looking up. If you saw one of these locks, if you know about locks and you're like, hey, Rusty, that one with the eagle on it, man, that's your moneymaker, or whatever else, please feel free to let me know. Any little bit of help that I can have, or direction, guidance on researching this stuff will certainly be appreciated. Among other things, folks, that we got here, I found other stuff amongst the tools. When I made my way upstairs, I got a few of these things. This is just like a little lamp. You twist it here on the side. It raises this portion. And this might have been like an alcohol lamp. So instead of using oil, it might have burned alcohol. I sold others like this. Sometimes they're silver plated. Sometimes they're sometimes they're not. But that's certainly, it's old, but it's still usable. I mean, you can certainly use that. We got a couple of other things here. We've got what's called it's like a little wooden turkey call from Neosho, Missouri, which is very, very close to where old Rusty grew up there. It was less than an hour away, southwest Missouri there. And then on this this little kind of connected here to this little leather piece is another type of call, and I'm trying to see if I can look at the name here. Rollins, manufacturers of high grade athletic goods. Okay, but it's some sort of horn, some sort of call of some kind. I don't know what it is, but and it's kind of corroded. Like, I don't want to put my mouth on this puppy right now, but so I'm not sure if it works or not. Maybe I can convince Peaches to try it out. Here's an old brass lighter, the number 5. Got some serious condition issues, some corrosion there, but this is like a World War, this might be a World War I era. I feel like I've seen these. I've gone through these and sold these before, but it's been long enough. But this is this kind of predates like the traditional Zippo type lighter. But again, number 5, that's great. I can look it up. It's easy. Here's a nice knife. Let me see if I can open this puppy. I need to be careful and not cut myself in front of yous. This is a Camillus brand knife. It's almost kind of got this curved, almost like it'd be like a box knife or something, but it's set up like a pocket knife, and it's got a nice little brass piece there, which is the locking mechanism. It holds it in place once you open it. It is razor sharp and in pretty good condition, so that's nice. I'm going to close that up here and try not to chop my finger off in the process. The only photograph I got was this cute little photo of this little girl. Okay, she's next to this tree. She's got her loyal pet there, and it says, "To my little sweetheart, love, Joss and Joss E. Wing," maybe something like that. August 2nd, 1904. 1904, a little cabinet card, some more writing on the back, which is cool. That'll definitely have some value. And then this was really cool. Why, it's just the little old kittens, but this is probably a late 1800s. It says mounted on linen. And so if we open her up here, it is. This page is on linen. Got a nice little picture of the 3 little kittens and their mittens, okay? And you got Mama Cat here and the little rascals. In color, it's telling a story, folks, and it is stinking cool. These pages are in linen. We've got all these people, okay, running through here holding letters of different races, it looks like, stereotypical garb. And I don't know, I have no idea how what this has to do with the story or not, but the pictures are certainly cool. If this was not intact, it is intact, I'm going to sell it as a book, but if it were not intact, these pictures of the cats and the color would actually be still fine and usable if you put them in a frame, and you could sell them individually. I do that with books sometimes that have interesting illustrations, but are not suitable for sale because of the condition of the book. Nobody would buy it. Anyhow, what a cool little thing. At the very back, you got the girl sitting on a very interesting looking stool with her, like, combing her little cat. How sweet. I didn't see an age on there. It's by the Laughlin brothers in New York. I'm going to look it up, see if I can find it, but my guess would be 1880s, 1890s for this book. I have purchased and sold a very large amount over time of antique pens and pencils. Old mechanical pencils sell very well, and you can see I have various containers of leads of various sizes as well that still hold lead. So I can sell this as a lot. I might even be able to sell this individually, believe it or not. And then down in here, I have a handful of mechanical pencils and vintage ink pens. Oh, there's one right there. It's holding some lead. I've also got some holders of old erasers, which is interesting. And then you can see an old ink pen right here, which I believe is probably a Schaefer brand. It's got the white dot up there at the top. I believe it's a fountain pen. I'm going to pull this off. Yes, it is. And what kind of nib do we have here? Oh, well, look at that. Surprise, surprise, 14K. Are you aware that old vintage pens, ink pens, sometimes have gold nibs? People harvest the gold, folks. They melt it back down. It's got a value. If that weighs 1 to 2 grams, it's probably worth, I think right now, 14 karat gold per gram is about $37. So if this is a gram, just that little part right there is worth $37, even if the ink pen does not work anymore. Although I think that this one probably does. It looks like it's pretty good condition. So anyhow, really cool white dot. I'll throw this up. Very cool. You wouldn't expect to find it. This is the kind of thing you can find in a bag of old pens and pencils for 50 cents or $1 at thrift stores. And they wouldn't know it, and you wouldn't know until you look through it that it had solid gold in it. Craziness. Here is the, see if I can get it to, what do we have here? W.H. Schaefer Pen Company in Fort Madison, Ohio. So I was right. It is a Schaefer. I'm quite excited about this. I've not cleaned it up yet, but I want to show you this thing. And man, look at that. Beautiful wood. It's got the original green felt in here. You've got the keys for the lock here that go in. Very cool. And it's got 3 drawers. I've seen versions of this that have 6 or 7. They've got smaller ones on either side, but you've got this. When I was there, this was full of tools, hand tools, from the bottom all the way up to the top. And it said, you know, they wanted $150 for this, not including the tools. And like I said, this place was so full of tools, it was just outrageous. It was outrageous how much tools was in this place. And so I went to the lady and I said, is that 150 like a hard number? I mean, it's full of tools. I could just take the tools. It's easy. She kind of went back and forth. She's like, well, no, like empty the tool. How about this? I'll do $125 if you empty the tools. And I said, you got yourself a deal. And that's what happened. I spent 15 minutes pulling all the tools out, putting them in other things, buckets and this and that. This is what they call a machinist's toolbox, tool chest. You can see the different panels of wood, the old flathead screws. We've got a couple of additions made by the owner, a couple of old patches. These are military, I guess, issue patches. We've got this little thing, a little medallion of some kind here. Hatfield. Don't know who that is or what that is. Maybe that's the brand of this box. I don't know. But here's what's going to happen. I've got to take, just so that there's no mold or things that's going to cause degradation of the wood here. What I need to do is I need to take this old green felt out of here. I got to take this old, whatever this stuff is here that's also kind of here to protect it. I need to remove all that, clean it out real good, and then I need to replace it with something equivalent. This is a type of fabric. I don't know what kind of fabric it is, but I'll probably cut a little swatch out of it when I remove it, and I'll take it to a fabric store or someplace and see if they can match the consistency and the color as best as possible. And then I will restore this thing. Beautiful wood, happy to get it. So $250 in on this box and everything that you see before you that we've covered. I can't wait to get into it. I'm going to jump in now. Wish me luck. Thank you to our friend, the detective. And this stuff right here will have to wait until next time. Maybe I can get the detective back, but I want to drop this in here just in case you folks know, and you can leave messages. I'm going to give you some views here real quick. These all look to be in bits, which are common for what I've seen like auger bits that would have gone in those old hand crank drill presses. You know, you would hold on to one hand and you'd use your other hand over here and you'd crank it over and over again, and it would use the auger. Well, these are different types of attachments, and it appears as though the purpose of these is to shave or trim. So if I move these over right here, if I moved, say, this portion, I'm going to hold it in my knees, this portion over that direction, or this direction, I guess. Let's see if I can't move it over like this. You see it opens up this space, so whatever's in here would, something wider could go in there, and as the more you cinch it down, the closer it gets. And then this right here is a blade of some kind. So it's some sort of trimming tool, it seems like. I just don't know exactly. This one's a mystery. Also the same attachment at the bottom, but look at this. It rotates. It's almost like it has different sizes for like a dowel rod, for example. And again, we've got this blade, not unlike blades and hand planes, coming out right there. You rotate this to the correct size, you screw it in place, and then you use the crank, and that would shave it. This is a E.C. Stearns and Company. This is these are all late 1800s. These are all cast iron, forged iron, or forged steel rather, cast steel things. This is another attachment, some sort of a bit here, and it says Miller's Falls Company. And over here we got a patent February 18th of 1890. So these are late 1800s things. Again, we got this bit that is common for those crank drills. Couple more here. Please, if you know what this is, Rusty, I know what it is. Tell me, please, because I'd like to sell these or get them in the hands of a collector or someone who will use them. You can see that this is made to shave wood down into sort of like a rounded point or some. So here's the blade that is affixed by these screws. Again, the same type of bit. And then this last one, not the same type of bit. You can see this screws in some way, but this portion here would be used to clamp onto a table as such, like this. You would screw it in place so it would sit right here. It would sit onto a tabletop. And then you've got this, a measuring apparatus on the side, a hand crank here, and then if you look down inside, there is a blade down in there. So I don't know, folks. Maybe this can open up. Maybe this is some sort of like a grinder. Maybe this grinds meat or something like that. I don't know, folks. I really don't. But it's the 3C, whichever that is. I don't see a brand on it, and I just don't know exactly what it's for. So, folks, any of these, if you know what they are, please leave a message indicating. I may even go onto a Facebook group of antique collectors of tools and see if they can give me some opinions as well. Thanks for watching this video, folks. I hope you're proud of me for finding these cool deals. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you didn't realize that these types of tools were available today or that they have values. But I'm telling you, folks, go on, look up these Stanley planes. Look up some of these lineman's pliers, Klein brand. In fact, I didn't even show you those. I've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 different brands. Klein, K-L-I-E-N, E-I-N, something like that. Brand lineman's tools. Some of these can bring hundreds of dollars for just one pair. This is a real deal, folks. Get out there and find these treasures. Good luck to you, and we'll be bringing you a video next week. That is a very serious one. It's a very serious personal note about business and some changes I'm going to have to make coming up real soon, so you'll want to catch that. If you haven't been over there lately, go to the What's Sold channel, because my brother is over there doing some really cool things. In fact, there's another one of those videos coming out either today or tomorrow as well. Take care, stay safe, and we'll catch you soon.
That's Rusty How To. Rusty